Right, good morning. Okay, so this morning, just 30 minutes of just some breathing, mobility. We will be coming down to the mat. So yeah, if you have your mat out and any blocks that you need, that would be good. Okay, I'm just thinking if there's anything else we need, but there isn't. So we'll just start with our feet hip distance apart, start standing up nice and tall. Maybe just closing down the eyes. Maybe putting our hands on our stomach or even on our rib cage. And just starting to take some really full, deep breaths. So really trying to feel your kind of whole upper body move as you breathe in. And then soften down as you breathe out. So just taking a few of these. If you do start to feel dizzy or it gets a bit much, then just come back to your normal breathing. That's absolutely fine. Just really starting to exercise the lungs, bringing your attention inwards to you, to your body, to your breathing. And then just letting your hands drop down by your side. Taking some neck stretches, so just dropping one ear down to the shoulder. And then just circling down so your chin comes to meet your chest. And then kind of up the other side. Again, just taking any other little movements you might need just to stretch out your neck. Maybe kind of looking up to the ceiling, looking down to the floor. A little gentle twist. Okay. And just bringing your head back up to center, opening the eyes, taking some shoulder rolls. So we're going to roll backwards first of all. So lifting the shoulders up to the ears and pulling them back and down. And then we're going to start to bring kind of the whole arm into the circle. So nice big circles. Starting to maybe straighten the arms a little. Don't worry about having them completely straight, but just really squeezing the shoulder blades together as you come back and down. And then we're going to start straightening the arms and kind of reaching them out to the side, still continuing with your circle. So you're kind of reaching out through the fingertips now, making the circles smaller and smaller. I'm going to come a bit, keep hitting my beams. And then let's really reach out through the fingertips, keeping the arms still. So just stretching out through the arms. And then let's clench the fists and then stretch out the fingers. Clench the fists, stretch out the fingers, and then let's wiggle the fingers. Keeping strong through those arms, strong through the shoulders. Okay, stretching out again. This time we're going to circle forward. So starting off with little small circles at shoulder height, and then making them bigger and bigger. And then bending into the arms if you need to. All the way back until we're just moving our shoulders. Good. Okay, and letting the shoulders melt back and down. Just dropping the arms down by the side. Coming into our side stretches. So bringing one arm up to center, over to the side, back up to center, and down. Try and leave the head kind of hanging down to the side. So the weight of that arm coming back will give you a really nice stretch down the side of the neck. Other side. Up to center, into your side stretch. Then back up, kind of leaving the head and then letting the weight of the arm just pull the head back up. It's a great little stretch for the neck. And again, just taking it in your own time, just finding a nice flowing movement. Really grounding down through the feet, keeping a nice soft bend in the knees. Keeping the breathing slow and steady, not holding your breath when you're in the stretch. Okay, and then just evening yourself up, coming back to center. Reaching our hands out in front, spreading the arms wide, squeezing the shoulder blades behind. Feel like someone's pulling your hands back and away from you, taking your gaze up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to fold in, curving into the spine, wrapping your arms around you, stretching out the top of your back. And again, opening, nice big inhale, and then closing down as we exhale. And again, just finding your little flowing movement. Okay, one more. And then letting your hands drop back down by your side. Taking some little twists. So just letting the arms flop round, bending into the knees. Don't worry if your knees or hips are cracking or popping, or ankles. Mine do all the time. Again, just finding a nice flowing movement. Waking up the spine, waking up the hips, waking up all the joints here, the shoulders, the knees, the ankles. Okay, and then slowly coming back to center. Okay, let's take a nice big inhale, reaching up to the sky. Let's clasp the hands and push the palms up towards the ceiling. Don't worry if you can't straighten your arms here. Just stretching out the palms, stretching out the arms. And then releasing, coming down through our cactus arms, squeezing the shoulder blades together and bringing the hands just down so your fingers are pointing away behind you. And again, just taking your gaze up towards the ceiling. Opening up the chest. Then let's bring the arms back up to center, reaching up to the sky. And this time we're going to fold forward, bending into the knees, all the way down, letting your head hang heavy. Don't worry if you can't touch the floor, just bringing your hands to your shins if you need. And then we're going to uncurl all the way up to standing again. Reaching the arms up and overhead, clasping the hands, turning the palms skyward. Really growing tall. And releasing the hands down through our cactus arms, all the way down. Reaching back and away from us. Opening up the chest. And sweeping the arms up high. And down into our forward fold again. This time we're going to stay down. If you use any blocks for your hands here to rest your hands on, then that's fine. Bending the knees is fine. We're just going to take a little sway from side to side. And again, just sway as much as you need to if you want to kind of pause on one side. Or just hang in the middle, that's absolutely fine. Okay, bringing your hands down to the mat, or if you have blocks, you can bring your hands down to the blocks. We're going to step our left foot back and lower our left knee down to the mat. So coming into our low lunge. Just wiggling this foot forward, just so it's directly underneath your knee. You can always double pad under that back knee if you want. Just fold your yoga mat over if you have sensitive knees, that's absolutely fine. And then bringing our hands up onto our hips. Sinking down into this hip so we get a nice stretch through that left hip flexor. Reaching our left arm up to the sky, opening up through the side body. We're just going to gently lean over to the right, so finding a nice side stretch here. Really pushing down through that front foot and the back knee and the back foot. Good strength through the legs. And then let's drop our right fingertips down towards the floor, and then we're just going to sweep that right arm back, left arm forward, so coming into a twist. And then bring the left hand down to the mat or down to your block, reaching up to the sky with your right hand. Bringing the right hand down, tucking the back toes under. We're going to step forward with the left leg, back into our forward fold. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So let's step back with our right foot, lower the back knee down. Just find our alignment, wiggle that front foot forward if we need, or wiggle the back knee back. Hands onto the hips. Reaching up to the sky with the right hand. Really reaching up so you get that length through the ribs, stretching out through your rib cage, and then slowly coming into our side stretch. Just lowering those left fingertips down towards the mat, and then bringing the left arm back, right arm forward. Don't worry if you can't twist very far, it's absolutely fine. And then bringing that right hand down to the mat, left fingertips up towards the sky. Bringing the left hand down. We're just going to step back with that left foot, coming into all fours. So just bringing our hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips, toes pointing backwards. And let's take some cat-cow. So as we inhale, looking forward, belly comes down to the mat. And then as we exhale, arching the spine up towards the ceiling. Inhaling, coming forward. And exhaling. Taking some movement in your own time. Just really be mindful of every movement of your spine. Pausing again if you need to anywhere, if anything, any little movement feels really nice to stretch, maybe just pausing there. Keeping your breath slow and steady. And then we'll meet in our neutral spine. So just flattening out your back, really pushing up through the hands, engaging your core here. So kind of have the intention of pulling your belly button back towards your spine just to engage those muscles. And then we're going to slide our left foot back, so tucking the toes under, stretching out the back of the leg. So really pushing out through that back heel. And we're going to reach forward with the right fingertips. So just keeping the fingers on the ground for now, on the mat. Facing the palm inwards. So it's just our pinky finger resting on the mat. And then as we inhale, we're going to lift up the leg and the arm. Don't worry about how high you come, but no higher than the shoulder and the hip. And then as we exhale, bring it down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, exhale. Trying to keep the back as still as you can, really working into the core. And then lowering back down, keeping the leg extended, but bringing the right hand back under the shoulder. We're going to bend into that left knee. And then just take some circles with that left leg. So just nice big circles working into the hip. Taking the circles both directions if you can. Again, trying not to lean too much into your right side here. And then lowering that leg down. Other side, stretching out with our right heel, sorry. So tucking the right toes under, stretching out through the back of the leg. And then slowly kind of sliding your left hand forward, just so your left pinky is on the mat. Let's firm up our core, really engage through our belly button. And then slowly as we inhale, lifting up foot and arm, sorry. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Good. Okay, bringing the left hand back under our shoulder, bending into that right foot, right knee, and then taking some nice big circles. It's really working into the hip. This is also working our core as well. Taking the circles both ways. Keeping our weight even in our hands and our arms, really pushing up through the shoulders. And then lowering that leg down to the mat. Let's come into our child's pose. So bringing our knees quite wide, so as wide as the mat, toes together. If your hips don't meet your heels, you can put a block or 2 underneath. If that's more comfortable for you, that's absolutely fine. And then just creeping the hands forward, resting your head down. Again, you can use a block for your head here. Just so you can fully relax your head down. And once we are there, just taking some nice deep breaths. Fully relaxing down onto the mat. Really being aware of your breathing, how your body is feeling, noticing where there's any tension in your body, maybe around the hips, around the belly, the shoulders, the neck. And just really trying to release, to relax wherever you can. And then bringing your gaze back up, just removing any blocks that you might have used. We're going to bring ourselves forward. So we're going to bring our knees back to hip distance apart. So just creep them slightly further in and bring our weight forward over our hands. So we're coming into a bit of a half plank position. So strong through the core here, really push up through the shoulder blades. Just going to take 3 mini press ups here. So squeezing the elbows in. Just lowering ourselves down and then pushing back up. It does not matter how far down you come, just as far as you can manage. And then lowering all the way down to the mat. Once we are there, bringing our hands underneath our shoulders, pushing down with the tops of our feet, engaging our legs, just coming into a little mini back bend, a little baby cobra here. Just peeling your chest off the floor and then lowering back down. We'll do that a couple of times. So as we inhale, peel up. Exhale down, trying to use your back muscles here rather than your hands. Your hands are just there for guidance. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Coming up through our hands and knees, going back through all fours. We're going to tuck the toes under and then just push our weight, bring our weight back into our heels. So just bringing our hands back slightly, coming into our foot stretch. So we won't be here for long, but just to give our feet a little bit of a stretch as well. Trying to keep the toes tucked under. If you can bring your weight even further back and sit on your heels, then by all means. And then we're just bringing our hands back forward again, keeping the toes tucked under. We're going to lift the knees, lift the hips. Let's come into our downward dog. And maybe just stretch out the legs. We can just bend into one leg, then the other, just keeping the hips nice and high. And then we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet, keeping a nice bend in the knees. That's absolutely fine. Coming into our forward fold at the back of the mat. And then as we inhale, we're going to come all the way up to standing, sweeping the arms up high. And nice long exhale, bringing the arms back down behind us, fingertips pointing back and away, looking up to the sky. And then take a nice big inhale, sweeping back up to the center. Exhale, fold forward, bending into the knees. And then we're going to walk the hands back out. Lowering the knees down here if you need to, or you can stay in your full plank. Squeezing the elbows in, lowering back down to the mat. Just one back bend this time. And down. Pushing up. Coming up through hands and knees, tucking the toes under, back into our downward dog, lifting the hips up high. And again, let's walk the hands back to the feet. Nice big inhale, reaching up towards the sky. And we're going to stay standing this time. So bringing the hands back down through center, just dropping the hands down by our side. Okay. Last little bit. As we inhale, we're going to sweep up to the sky and then come up onto our tiptoes. So slowly as we can, rising up onto our tiptoes, reaching up through the hands. Don't worry if you lose your balance. Wobbles are fine. And then we're going to float back down, lowering the heels back down to the mat. And again, sweeping up. Rising up high, reaching up strong through the legs, reaching up through the hands. And then slowly floating down. And again, reaching up. Maybe keeping our gaze on something still, like choosing a little focal point can help with our balance. Floating down one more time. Inhaling up. Really good for the legs this, good for the strength, and really good for the core as well. Reaching up and then slowly coming back down. Bringing our hands down by our side, dropping our shoulders back and down. Maybe closing down our eyes. Just noticing how the body is feeling. Bringing our focus back to our breathing. So maybe taking some slightly longer inhales, longer exhales, but really controlling your breath. So not kind of being on autopilot with it. So trying to make our inhales and our exhales the same length. So nice, slow, controlled inhale, then slow, controlled exhale. Keeping the shoulders back and down, grounding down through the feet. You can have a little soft bend in the knees. Maybe lengthening down your tailbone down towards the ground, so you're kind of engaging your core area just a little. And then lengthening through your spine, reaching up through the crown of your head. Okay. And let's take a nice big inhale, really full, biggest inhale you've done all day. Filling up the chest, filling up the lungs, and then sighing it out. Do one more of those, big full inhale, and then sighing it out. Just letting your breathing return to normal. And really softening where you can. So just noticing if there's any tension around the forehead, the eyes, the jaw. Just really softening around your face. Softening around the neck and shoulders, maybe just giving your shoulders a little roll, kind of up and back. Letting your arms be heavy so your fingers are relaxed, but at the same time feeling the weight of your arms, just pulling your shoulders down. Just letting gravity do its work. And just focusing on your breathing. Just quietening down, quietening the mind, quietening the body. quietening the breath. And then let's give our fingers a little wiggle, give our wrists a little circle, a little movement. Taking a couple of rolls with the shoulders, up, back and down. And then let's bring our hands together into our prayer position in front of our heart center and opening the eyes if you haven't done so already. Thank you. Namaste. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining, guys.